kitchen. Oh, come on. We're getting drunk for the win. You can get drunk for the loss. That's actually a pretty good idea. Hey, get in here. We're getting drunk.
Oh, hell yeah. What? Absolutely not.
Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, that is a dub! But we will not be bullied. We will not be bullied. I don't care how many times I just clip the microphone. I don't give a fuck. This team will not be bullied. There is no amount of physicality that has been winning these games for the Florida Panthers. We talked about it in the first 2 fucking minutes of game 1. The first 2 minutes, we talked about, wow, the Panthers' game plan is very clear. Get the puck in deep and play bully ball. And that is a real strategy. I'm not shitting on the Panthers for this. In fact, I would say the Panthers have played this series to maybe the best of their abilities, given what we saw during the regular season. And I'm sure there's a Panthers fan out there that's going to be like, wow, how audacious of you to say this is the best the Panthers can play. Well, guess what, chucklefuck? I'm saying it. I think this team has done exactly what they want to do with the personnel available to them. They are taking every opportunity to hit us, to get under our skin, and yes, they are crossing lines. That is clear, but guess what? You gotta learn to deal with it. I know. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on the refereeing or talk about how we need to be tougher. This team has been plenty tough. I don't want to hear it. This team's been so tough. We have a 3-1 lead against a team that is straight up colliding with every player we have at every opportunity. This team is tough. I cannot stress that enough. We are not shedding the gloves at every opportunity because we want to win the game and then move on. And we're going to talk about the importance of winning game 5 to get this fucking over with, because I think you feel the same, where every couple of minutes when a big hit happens, you immediately get concerned about health. By the way, already missing our top 2 centers, and Olmark is reportedly dealing with something, which is why he's been questionable for every game the past 3 games. Now, I'm not sure if he's starting or not. Well, guess what? He keeps starting, and he keeps playing fucking lights out! He's amazing! I am hyped up right now. This is the kind of game that this is a demoralizing game for the Panthers. It is! And I said it on Twitter, I'll say it here, and yes, replay it 1,000 times. 1,000 times if the Panthers mount the comeback. Because I'm not saying the Panthers aren't a competitive team. I'm not saying they're not good enough to win 3 games in a row. I'm not saying any of that. I got a lot of respect for this team. But if you're telling me in the last 10, 15 minutes of that game, the Panthers had a lot of, they wanted to play hockey. They had a lot of interest in playing hockey. I'd say you're full of shit. Once the teams were very clearly just where they were, right? It was 3-1. It was 3-2. Okay, is this game going to get interesting? No. The Bruins weren't allowing anything in their defensive zone. And we made that so clear. And the Panthers just went, fuck it. Let's send a different kind of message. And they did. Do I think it's a little beer league, little bush league in some moments? Absolutely. I'm also a Bruins fan. A Panthers fan is sitting there right now going, fuck yeah. Show it to them. Bring the heat as they're down 4 goals as the clock ticks away. TNT could not stop praising the Panthers' game plan today. They lost 6-2. Spoiler alert. You keep praising that game plan. I hope we get the same game plan in game 5. The Panthers are capable. They had 0 interest in playing hockey near the end of that 3rd period. They really didn't. And you know what? I'm not sure how much interest they have in Game 5 either. You'd like to think that they'd want to play hockey in Game 5, and I'm sure they'll come out with a good effort. But when things start to not go their way, if that is the process of Game 5, if we score first, what are we going to get? Are we going to get a team that's trying to lock it in to play for their season? Or are we going to get a team that says, I'm going to punish this other team as much as possible, and maybe we win this game? Or, at the very least, we've sent a message. Send the message from the golf course, boys. I don't know. Like, this series is not over. It's not over in any way, shape, or form. You have to finish it out. And what do we always say? That fourth win is the hardest one to get. The Panthers played a hell of a game early on. That's a capable team. But at the end of the day, this Bruins team is strong skill-wise. And they are strong physically. They won't be bullied. And they weren't bullied in this one. Every time you can talk about a lack of response to certain things, they're focused on getting the win. I mean, yeah, we weren't hitting them back quite the same way. We laid some big fucking hits. But we weren't smashing them back, cheap shots, things of that. No. We were playing the game to win the game because we know what's on the line for us. And I don't think that Panthers team believes that even if they got through this series, they're good enough to win a cup. Judging by interviews and the shirts, the lead dog shirts that they got made, things like that, this team doesn't believe it's good enough to win 4 rounds. So then what are they doing here? I got a lot of respect for that team, I really do. I don't got a lot of respect for a couple of players, but I got a lot of respect for the team. That's a lot of ranting for me to basically say the Bruins were just as tough as they needed to be. They didn't have to respond in kind. And in moments they did. Don't get me wrong. They didn't roll over. But if you were expecting them to drop the gloves at every opportunity, that's not what's on the line for this team. This is step 1. I guess step 2 if you consider the regular season. This is so early in our path of what we think this team's capable of. Well, why waste time with it? Make sure you're winning the games that you're in the position to win. That's what they did. I really like the way they handled it. Anyway, Panthers, they are starting Bob. Bobrovsky is in the game for them. That was an interesting choice, but Lyon wasn't cutting it through 3, so game 4 they started Bob. They've gone to their backup. I know Bobrovsky makes $10 million a year, but they've gone to their backup. That means you have a chokehold on the series, and you proved it this game too. That was huge. Winning this game goes a long way. It doesn't allow Bobrovsky to build confidence because that's not what you need right now. And it makes them look at their net and go, shit, do we put Lyon back in? Which I do think Lyon performed better than Bob, but hey, that's just me. It's a real tough. They're in a tough spot. And you just sowed more seeds of doubt. That's exactly what you wanted to do. They do not have Ekblad or Duclair. 2 sizable injuries for them. Really bad. I didn't see obviously Ekblad went down last game. Not sure what happened to Duclair. I didn't see a report on that. For us, we weren't sure if it was Ullmark or Swayman. Of course, it was Ullmark, although Swayman did see a couple minutes. Bergie and Krejci still out. Another reason this game was so huge, but we'll talk about that. And then no line changes. Everything else remained the same. There was a little shuffling through the game, but we stuck with the same lineup. And I think we like it right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't force anything for Game 5, as in forcing people to get back in the lineup. Still no news on why Krejci's out. I have a hard time believing he's a healthy scratch, but I don't know. I literally don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have the answer for you on that. I'm not a huge ranter. I'm just a little worked up right now, but guys, if you're interested in the channel and you like watching these videos, you like the skits at the beginning, please hit that subscribe button. Like, comment, subscribe. I have to say it now. It's like a thing. Nailed it. But I really appreciate it. About 40% of the people who pop their heads into to these videos consistently aren't actually subscribed. That being said, the link tree below, I know usually you see link tree and you just assume OnlyFans. Don't ask me why my head went there. You know, sometimes it's bloopers where I'm like, do I keep it in? Do I take it out? Anyway, the link tree below has a Discord, which is a great community, has my Twitter, which is really easy to communicate with me. It has a couple other things worth checking out. So if you want to click on that, if you want to message me on social media, things like that, I'm available. I'm not the fastest replier in the world, but hit me up. That being said, puck drops! In the first 10 minutes of the game, 9 minutes of the game, we have to survive. We simply have to survive. The shots are 10-0. 9 minutes into this game. And the worst one of them was about 7-ish minutes in, and it's a 2-on-1 due to a good bounce for the Panthers. Panthers actually got some lucky bounces in this game, which makes the score even more shocking. But it's a 2-on-1, and Verhaeghe from a tough angle on the right side, but tries to get short side across the slot, tries to get short side on Ullmark. And Ullmark, diving stop, just flings himself at it. You can say whatever you want about the style that Ullmark has, but one thing is so clear about it. He simply wants to stop the puck. There are not other thoughts that go through his mind. There are. They are very smart people. But you look at a lot of goalies and you're like, yeah, they're trying to stop the puck. Obviously. Saves like this are where he's just like, I am getting in the way, period. It's incredible, and I love the tenacity that he shows. Anyway, we're 9 minutes in. The shots are 10-0, and the Bruins are going to get their first shot on net. It's a Taylor Hall sprint down the right side to the net. The save is made, but White cross-checks Hall after the play. We're going to the power play. Hall already making a difference by drawing that power play. 30 seconds into the power play, Pasta takes his zone down the right side. He's going to fling it across the crease to Bertuzzi. Bob makes the first stop. A really nice stop. A puck bounces out to Zacha. He's going to get a chance, shoots it right into Bob, and the puck lands under Bobrovsky's massive wing. I'm just assuming because goalies, right? They got it. They're crazy. Yeah, you get it. But he doesn't know where it is. But Marchand does. He sprints into the pile, smacks the puck. As he's hitting it, the whistle blows. It's in the back of the net. They cheer. Now remember, think all the way back to Game 3. Was there a goal after the whistle? Well, yes, there was. Who did that goal favor? Well, that would be the Florida Panthers. It was a continuation of play goal. I thought they got the call right in Game 3, and I said after that, as long as you keep consistent with that, I'm good. They called this one a goal because it was going to go in either way. The whistle happened as he's striking the puck. I mean, there's reasons why this should have been a goal. And it shouldn't have been blown dead when it was blown dead. So, this is one of those things. Don't let a ref's mistake directly show up on the scoreboard. That's why I'm okay with them being like, okay, that should have gone in the net. We blew the whistle before the puck was actually covered because we lost sight. That's a ref's mistake that did not impact the play in the end. It's 1-0. I saw some complaints about it as if people didn't know that they were just rewarded the same goal last game. But for the most part, everyone just went, yes, that seems fair to me. 1-0 power play goal. And we're keeping the pressure on. Just a few seconds later, Lomberg is going to clear the puck over the glass. It's great pressure by Carlo to create this. We're going to go on the power play. It's a terrible power play. And DeBrusk takes a puck right off the side of the head, goes down the tunnel for the rest of the period. He would return. Thank goodness. Not a good power play, though. Really not. So we're midway through the first period, and then the Bruins are turning it on. And we're in the offensive zone, and the puck starts to get moved out of it. And Zacha and Lomberg are getting into it. Lomberg does cross-check him multiple times. I will concede that. Zacha then cross-checks Lomberg in the teeth. So, you know, one's worse than the others. Zacha gets the 2-minute cross-checking penalty. We're going to have to kill it, which we do. I would very much expect Zacha to get a fine for that. We'll see. I don't think it's quite suspension worthy, but a fine seems very clear. It is getting chippy, though. After a failed shorthanded bid by us, the Panthers go back the other way. They've got numbers, but they mishandle the puck, and McAvoy comes through. Kachuk's got it, and his back is to the neutral zone. This was reminding me of the Sebastian Aho check of last year. I think it was last year. It's one of those moments where you go, I don't think McAvoy really meant to do that, but hard to stop when you're going full tilt. Either way, we kill off the penalty. It was a great, clean hit. You love it. The period expires, and there's a big scrum behind the net, behind Bobrovsky's net. And when it dissipates, Hathaway is on the ice face down. On the replay, you can see that Tkachuk not only cross-checks him to get him down, but then continues to cross-check him in the back throughout this process as people are trying to pull people off. Tkachuk's a dirty bird. He's a piece of shit. We already knew this. We already knew Tkachuk's a piece of shit. He will very soon, hopefully, have the Marchand reputation and start getting suspended for shit like this. He will not get suspended for this. And for those of you who are going to call me soft, go watch that. And after the 4th or 5th cross-check of a guy who's face down on the ice, maybe you'll see it my way. I don't know. Either way, he's going to get the 2 minutes. We're going to start the second period. We're up 1-0. Tkachuk is in the box. Lomberg and Hathaway are back. So is DeBrusk. So everyone's healthy. 8 seconds left of a terrible power play. Hall takes the blue line and beelines it right to the center of the slot. 4 defenders collapse, so he quickly feeds it to the right circle to Orlov, who all 4 defenders look to, and Orlov has DeBrusk backdoor. He flings it over. The pass is a little tight to Bobrovsky, so DeBrusk has to get down and actually chip it over Bobrovsky's sprawl body. But it works. It is 2-0 off of another power play goal. The power play has been hitting at like 26% or something like that. I'll take that. I didn't ask for a 35% record-breaking power play. 25% is even a little high. 20% I'm super happy with. I just want the power play to be a weapon of some sort, and through the regular season we saw it not be that. 4:07 in, Coyle's going to go for hooking. We kill it. We kill it because we have a good penalty kill. 4 minutes left. The Panthers get a really good bounce. The puck appears to be going around the net. Olmark switches to the right post, but unfortunately it actually gets somehow hung up on the netting, bounces back out, and Tkachuk is able to drag it back and goes through the legs, drags it back, and then flicks it into the open net. He's a tap-in. I mean, that was a tap-in play for him. He just got fancy with it. And everyone's like, oh my God, Tkachuk, he's filthy. He could have literally just been boop, but he just got fancy for, all right, good for him. 2-1. We're going to the third period. I'm nervous, right? You're nervous. But this Bruins team, man, not in this series. Like, oh man, I really want to get done with this. I believe the Bruins are a better team. I mean, the numbers back it up right now. They weren't going to let this one go. And the third period starts in 2:26 in. Foligno, of all people. Foligno, who I've been critical about, but has certainly been better this year than he was last. I don't know how much grace that really gives him, but he goes down the right wall. And he slams on the brakes and takes some contact while he's doing it to fling it back up to Carlo. So he's taken the zone. He's created possession in the offensive zone. And he's made a play to open up space. I mean, it seems real simple. Skate down the wall, stop, fling it to your defender. But possession in the offensive zone is harder to create than it looks oftentimes in the NHL. It's harder to create in any league than you'd really think it was. So him getting the puck deep, skating through bodies, taking contact, and then being able to whip it all the way back up while he has 2 defenders on him, that means someone's open. Carlo accepts the puck, sees that this body's going in the net, let's fling this on net. And he does. And Bertuzzi gets the tip, fantastic tip, and it goes through Bobrovsky, bounces right by him, and it is 3-1. We're extending our lead again, back up to a 2-goal lead, and it's a huge play by everyone. The Bertuzzi tip's awesome, but Foligno really deserves a lot of credit for what he put together there. And then he's going to go for tripping about 2 minutes later. About 5 minutes into the period, he's going to go for tripping. 1 minute and 26 seconds of penalty kill time without a single clearance. They're shooting, they're recovering, they're shooting, they're recovering. 7 shots, I believe, on this power play for them. Olmark is standing on his fucking head. But eventually, the puck gets over to Montour on the left circle. He's going to shoot. Carlo's going to get the block, but it actually really just tips it and goes in on Olmark. Olmark doesn't have the new trajectory because he had to sell out for this initial shot. Puck bounces in front of him. Bennett is going to try to whack it in. Olmark makes the first save, unable to make the second, and he buries it. It's 3-2 off of a power play goal. Here's one of my issues with this play. Puck's in the net. And Montour skates in and gives Olmark, while he's face down on the ice, a little snow shower. That shit's not gonna, I'm not gonna lose my mind over it. But if you want to talk about some beer league bullshit, Montour sees the puck in the net and skates up with speed and goes, whoosh, and then, purposely looks down at him and then skates off. You can't convince me that wasn't intentional. And it's stuff like that where you're like, you're giving no respect, you'll get no respect. There's a difference between playing tough. And look, I don't like the way Lomberg and Tkachuk are treating their players. Who would? Gudas. I don't like it. But that's part of playoff hockey. You get physical, you get under the skin, you get a piece of shit. Little stuff like that, you just go, all right. That's just, you keep doing whatever pathetic bullshit you want to do. But I'm not impressed. No one on the ice is impressed. And Panthers fans, I gotta ask, is that the kind of stuff where you're like, yeah,
Come on. It's like the Marchand, not as bad, but the Marchand licking shit. Bruins fans didn't defend that. God, I hope most of them didn't. That was disgusting and dumb. I mean, I'm not going to defend our players doing stupid shit like that. I'm not going to look at other teams and go, oh yeah, they're just trying to get under the skin. Just, I don't know. That seems pathetic. And then 8 minutes in, we just allowed a goal. It's a 1-goal game. Tensions are high. They're the home team. A lot of cheering. Well, some cheering for them. They got out-cheered for most of these games. DeBrusk is going to force a turnover in the neutral zone by deflecting a dump in. And it's going to go to Zacha, who's going to feed Hall on the right side. Hall is going to take the zone, and he's going to feed this across back to Zacha. And Zacha's going to shoot in on the net. It's a good save, but DeBrusk has been heading to the net since that first deflection. And he's going to bury this past Bobrovsky. That's 2 goals for the boy, and we're back to a 4-2 lead. And we wouldn't relinquish from there. It was over from there. But 9 minutes left. McAvoy and Tkachuk are each going to go for slashing. That relationship's been getting chippier through the whole series. 1 minute into that, 4v4. 1 minute into the 4v4. Montour hits Pasta away from the puck. Just blatantly. Just Pasta turns and Montour just blows him up. Not a like illegal hit, except for the fact that neither of them had the puck anywhere close to them. So they call it for interference, and Montour's like arguing his point, and you go, I don't even know how you have an argument here. So it's 4v3 for 1 minute, 5v4 for 1 minute. I was really mad at it initially until I was like, okay, we passed around for a full minute and then basically passed around for another full minute. This team is up 2 goals. They just didn't want to get caught with a weird shorthanded bid or anything. So they just weren't forcing anything. Like, I get the whole step on the throat kind of stance, and I would have leaned towards that, try to score here, the game's really over. But it really seemed like they were just like, let's just waste this time. 3:36 left. Hall gets in alone. He bats the puck away from a defender, dodges the contact from him, and then he fakes backhand, goes forehand on Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's sprawled out, and he buries it. 5-2. 5-2. It's officially an ass kicking. And then about 20 seconds later, the puck is cleared out of the zone, our zone, and everyone squares off with Tkachuk in the middle of it. Tkachuk ends up hitting Olmark up high. Olmark gave him a good tap because, Tkachuk kind of ran him. So that was whatever. But then this whole gauntlet of people just dove on each other. No one's having a true fight in this, really. Tkachuk and Olmark are being separated, and Olmark sheds him. And he's like, let's fucking go, buddy boy. Takes the helmet off and everything. That's another thing with a goalie. When he takes the helmet off to fight you, like, he's not fucking around. Let's go. Refs won't let him. Olmark gets a misconduct for the blocker move if you hit someone with a blocker. Jack was explaining this. I don't know if this is true. But Olmark gets a 10-minute misconduct. Hitting him with a blocker, I guess, is like a big no-no. So does McAvoy. I'm going off of what the app says, because I got so confused during all this. McAvoy gets a 10-minute misconduct. Tkachuk and Bennett also get them. Montour and Forbort get the 5-minute majors for fighting, and then Forbort's going to get the extra 2 for roughing. We're going to the penalty kill. We kill it. Hall gets the empty netter, the 4th point of the night for Hall, and that's your 6-2 final. What a game. What a massive, unbelievable, incredible game. We're up 3-1 in the series. We swept their home stand. Hopefully we can finish it at home. Zacha might get a fine, like we talked about, for game notes. Zacha might get a fine. I really don't think this is suspension worthy. If it is, I'd expect Tkachuk to also get one for the cross-checking on Hathaway, which is way after the play and the continuation of it. But I'm expecting Zacha to get a fine. I don't know if Tkachuk's going to get one. Either way, whatever. Hall was unbelievable in this game. 4 points, and that doesn't tell the whole story. He was great on the back check. He created through the neutral zone. He created offensively. And in a game where I really feel like our 5-on-5 offense wasn't there until the third period, and where the Florida Panthers really had to sell out to try to create offense, that's easier to create 5-on-5 offense when the other team's really focused on their own offense. So there's a little bit of worry there for me about how we're performing 5-on-5 offensively, but I'm not going to overdo that point right now, especially when you have guys like Hall who are supposed to be farther down the lineup, which he is. He's the third line guy right now, but just creating his matchups. He's been fantastic. I really don't think you can point to his game at all and be disappointed. Also, this win does allow you to be a lot more cautious with Bergeron and Krejci, which you love to see, because we're not forced to bring them back. It's not a pivotal Game 5 anymore. Now, obviously, and this is the biggest game note I have, finish this in Game 5. We look around the league right now. The injuries are mounting for a lot of teams. And they're going to happen during the playoffs. And I mean, we're missing our top 2 centers. Let's not act like we don't have our own injuries to worry about. But Tkachuk, Montour, Lomberg, Gudas, etc., the list goes on. They are out for blood. And that's their game plan, is to get physical, get us off our game. You could argue that's kind of worked in Pasta. We haven't really seen him much this series. That being said, I'm not going to sit here and just harp on they're dirty. Their game plan is desperation. Welcome to the playoffs. I'm frustrated, I hate it, and I think they're crossing lines here or there, and that I will harp on. Like, you can be a ferocious physical presence without crossing lines constantly, and I think Tkachuk does cross lines, and he's a piece of shit. But you want to get done with this series as soon as possible. You can't allow the bumps and bruises to continue to add up. And that's why I thought this game, outside of taking a 2-game lead, that's why this game was so important, is just hurry this along. I think a lot of people will agree with that. This Panthers team is dangerous. They are dangerous. A little momentum, this series could really flip on its head. But let's get this done. Because I don't want to play this team anymore. These people are fucking animals, so I don't want to play them. And I'm going to say the same thing about the next team too, I'm sure. But I'd rather watch Tampa and Toronto go 7 games and we go 5. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair statement. Well, that's all I got to say. Like, comment, subscribe. We won a Steen and we got a big win. How about that? Go Bees. Go Bees!